Hello everyone. So you are here with LivePhysics all-level supported seminar program. I'm Hansali Nainama and I'm here to discuss chemistry 2 Tute. And let's start from the question 1. Which of the following elements is false regarding the electrochemical cell given in the figure? So the figure shows like this. They have indicated this as the iron strip, this as the copper strip, and the solution is dilute H2SO4 acid, sulfuric acid. So the first answer is iron strip acts as the anode. Yeah, so we can identify it like this. In the reactivity series, iron is more reactive than copper. So therefore, the anode is the iron, and the oxidation happens in the anode and the reduction happens in the copper. So therefore the first answer is correct. And then they say a reduction reaction occurs at the copper strip. So yes, as I mentioned, in the copper strip reduction happens. Why? So for copper there's no more copper, which means no copper ions to reduce, so it only has copper solid. So the H plus in the sulfuric acid goes to H2. That means in the reduction, H plus reduces to H2. So the second answer is also correct. And then they say gas bubbles evolve rapidly at the iron strip. So as I mentioned earlier, the gas bubbles happens, H2 is formed at the copper strip side, which means reduction side. Therefore the third statement is wrong. And the fourth statement says electron flow towards copper strip across the external wire. Yeah, so the electrons flows in the electrochemical cells from anode to cathode. So I mentioned the anode is the iron strip and the cathode is the copper strip. So the electrons move from iron strip to copper strip. So the fourth statement is also right. So the answer is the third one. Okay, so let's move on to the second question. So the second question says select the option in the table which gives the most suitable extraction method for each of the elements potassium, calcium and lead. So we can use the reactivity series. In the reactivity series, for the elements which are in the top part like potassium and calcium, we can use electrolysis method. For the elements in the bottom part, we can use like elements like lead, we can use reduction method. So electrolysis means extracting of elements using an external power source. Reduction means extracting elements by using a reducing agent. So the elements calcium and potassium, we can use electrolysis method, lead reduction method. That means the answer is the fourth one. Okay, now the third question. Okay, so the question says an iron nail which was in contact with a metal M was kept in an agar medium which consists of small amounts of sodium chloride, potassium ferricyanide and phenolphthalein. After 1 hour only, pink color was seen in the agar medium around the nail. M could be. Yeah, so they say pink color was seen. That means phenolphthalein has converted into pink color when OH minus ions, which are base, is contacted. So they say after 1 hour only. That means the metal M should be more reactive than iron. So it can sacrifice itself and protect iron. So in the activity series, it's magnesium, aluminium and zinc, ferrous means iron, lead and copper. So in the activity series, the element which is more reactive than iron are the elements which are more reactive than ions are these. In the answer, they have given copper, lead, tin and aluminium. So aluminium is there, copper is less reactive than iron and tin is also less reactive than iron. So the answer is aluminium, which is the fourth answer. Okay, so let's move on to fourth question. So they have given a reaction zinc. So this is the reaction they have given and they are asking which metal indicates as M. And this is a displacement reaction. Displacement reaction in sense, an element is replaced by another element and the element which was replaced goes outside. So here that means M should be an element which is more reactive than zinc. We can again get it from the reactivity series which I mentioned earlier, and the answers they have given are copper, iron, magnesium, lead. So again I'll write the reactivity series: magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, lead and copper. So element which is more reactive than zinc can be either aluminium or magnesium. So from the answers which they have given, the answer should be magnesium. So the answer is the third answer. Let's move on to the 5th question. Okay. Consider the following substances: A. Solid sodium chloride crystals, molten sodium chloride, aqueous sodium chloride solution. And they are asking which of the above conduct electricity. Yeah, so they have given sodium chloride. So sodium chloride is having an ionic bond. So for the ionic bonds to conduct electricity, they should be either in molten state or in aqueous state. So why don't we consider sodium chloride solid state to conduct electricity? That is so in solid state they are bounded by very strong covalent lattice, and so there's no free ions to move to conduct electricity. But in molten state there are free ions more than in the solid state. But in aqueous state there are sodium plus ions and chlorine minus ions, which are very free to conduct electricity. So the answer should be B and C, molten sodium chlorides and aqueous sodium chloride solution. So the answer should be the third answer, B and C only. Okay, let's move on to the 6th question. Okay. Corrosion of iron can be controlled by keeping iron in contact with the bivalent metal M. What is the half reaction to which the metal M is subjected here? Yeah, so here we can start with bivalent metal M. Bivalent means two valent electrons in the metal. So so they are saying corrosion is controlled by the metal M. That means the metal M should be more reactive than the iron. So metals always oxidizes. Like let's say iron. Again, iron is also a metal. So iron goes to Fe2 plus or Fe3 plus, right? So here they should oxidize the metal, and they are saying it is also bivalent. That means metal M should oxidize by giving 2 electrons. So metal M should oxidize by giving 2 electrons while making M2 plus ion. Yeah, so what's the answer for that? It is the first answer. So let's move on to 7th question. Which of the following statements is false about electroplating of iron? Yeah, The first answer is an aqueous solution of a compound of the metal that is electroplated should be the electrolyte. What is electrolyte? The electrolyte should be the aqueous solution of the metal to be plated. That means the aqueous solution of the metal to be plated is the electrolyte. Yeah, so the first answer is correct. And then the second answer. The electrolyte should be in high concentration for quality electroplating. For a quality electroplating, the concentration should be very controlled concentration or moderate concentration. So when the high concentration is there, the quality reduces. So the second answer is wrong. Third answer says iron should be made the cathode of the electrolytic cell. Yeah, so yes, cathode is Fe2 plus goes to iron. Iron means the iron deposits in the cathode. So the third answer is also correct. The current used should be a direct current. Yes, direct current ensures a continuous metal deposition. So the current should be DC. That means direct current. So the answer is the second question. Second answer. Yeah, so let's move on to 8th question. Arrangements A, B, C and D set up by a student in the laboratory using 4 clean iron nails to study about corrosion of iron are as follows. So in the A, they have given seawater. In the B, they have given vinegar. So let's talk about these A and B first. Seawater contains ions, which speeds the corrosion. And also vinegar is an acid, so this also speeds the corrosion. And C is zinc. And D has a copper plate, zinc plate and a copper plate. So to prevent corrosion, we can use an iron and metal which is very reactive than the iron. So copper is reactive than iron. Zinc is reactive than iron. Copper is less reactive than iron. So in the reactivity series, zinc is reactive than iron. Copper is less reactive than iron. So we can use zinc plate to prevent the corrosion, and copper plate we can't use. So since this is an acid, we can't use it. Since these have ions, we can't use it. So the answer should be zinc plate, and it is the third answer. Okay. Let's move on to the 9th question. Ninth question. What is the polymer that contains carbon and hydrogen only as the constituent elements? Yeah, so they have given vulcanized rubber. In vulcanized rubber, the structure is like this. And this is polyisoprene. And the second answer they have said polythene. The third answer says Teflon. The fourth answer says cellulose, which is C6, H10 and O5 cellulose. So here they are saying the polymer which contains only carbon and hydrogen as the constituent elements. Yeah, so here there are F fluorines in the structure, so we can't take Teflon. Here there's oxygen, not only carbon and hydrogen, so it is wrong. We can't take cellulose as well. So here polythene, we have carbon and hydrogen only, so we can take polythene. In the polyisoprene, which is rubber, and they have mentioned it as vulcanized rubber. So here this is a special point. In vulcanized rubber, for the structure they add sulfur in it. So vulcanized rubber and rubber are two different things. So they add sulfur to vulcanized rubber. So that's why we can't take the first answer as well. So the answer for that question is answer 2. Okay, let's move on to the 10th question. So the 10th question is, consider the following statements presented regarding rubber. So I drew the rubber structure. I'll draw it again. So this is rubber, and the statement A says it is a linear polymer. Yes, this structure is a linear polymer. Yes, and isoprene is the monomer. Yes, the polymer is polyisoprene. So the monomer is isoprene. So the B statement correct, A statement correct, B statement correct. And then C statement, there are cross links among the chains. No, I mentioned earlier, the cross links comes when the rubber is vulcanized. So this is not vulcanized rubber. So the C statement is wrong, and the answer should be 2, only A and B. Yes, let's move on to the 11th question. So the 11th question is about LP gases. The hydrocarbons contained in LP gas as its major components are. So for LP gases, we can use light gases that can be easily liquefied using pressure. So in the first answer, they have given methane and ethane. And this methane and ethane is used for natural gases. And the third answer, they have given butane and pentane. Pentane is a heavy gas, so we can't get that answer. Propane and pentane is the fourth answer, and there's pentane again, so it is a heavy gas which we can't use for LP gases, so we can eliminate the fourth answer as well. And the second answer, they have given propane and butane, which are light gases which are suitable for LP gases. Yes, so the answer is the second one. Moving on to the 12th question. Yeah, so the 12th question is, of the following structures, select the repeating unit of polythene. Yeah, so polythene is like this. So from our side, we have made a mistake there and mentioned the repeating structure as the answer 3. So the answer should be the second one. Why? The repeating unit means this part. Only this part, which is the second answer. And if we take this, the third answer, so this is the polymer, not the repeating unit. So the answer should be the second answer. Yeah, so thank you everyone, and good luck everyone for your exam.